Doctor, how will you go about selecting someone to fill the position?
Well, assuming the board takes action on accepting this resignation, and it does appear that we will, of course, we have invited the community to submit nominations of qualified prospects for the board. This individual, upon election by the board, would serve the remainder of this next school year up until the next election, that is April 1970. That's about a 7 to 8 month appointment.
Sir, after this time, could he run again on his own, this appointee?
Oh, yes, this person could run again. He would have to get into the election process in April of 1970, and if elected, that person would serve one more year, the remainder of Mr. Dunlop's term.
Although testimony has now been completed in the Charity Club case in Fort Worth 17th District Court, Judge Charles Murray is not expected to offer any ruling for about 2 weeks. The case centers around certain social groups formed within the schools or by students of the schools which restrict their membership. Students who have been members testified during the hearings that they had indeed been involved in charity, that the clubs had done good things for people, and that their membership in the clubs had been rewarding experiences. The school officials presented testimony showing that on at least one occasion, members of a boys' charity club had been reported to have used marijuana. The officials testified that some students had suffered emotional problems after being refused admission to the clubs, and Superintendent Julius Trulson pointed out that one of the persons involved in the present suit had at one time objected to the club's very existence. Judge Murray has instructed attorneys on both sides to submit legal opinions and references for their clients' positions. The judge maintains that it is not his position to determine whether the schools should allow the clubs to exist, but rather that he will take only into account the legality of the statute under which the schools have acted. Jerry Taff, Channel 8 News, Fort Worth.
I think you can't tell what is happening in inflation at this point. It's not the kind of thing that you turn it on and off like a water spigot. We feel we are making progress in the battle against inflation, and that the steps such as the extension of the surtax, such as the major budget cuts which have been installed by the President, will result in a gradual decrease in the inflationary spiral.
What about the Vietnam situation? Does it appear that we'll be able to bring the majority of our troops home within the foreseeable future?
It's difficult to know what you mean by foreseeable future. It's obviously the hope of the President and of every American that we can bring our troops home as rapidly as possible, but I think that the President made it very clear that we're not about to bug out on Vietnam. We can't just pull everyone home. The President is studying at this moment what further troop withdrawals can be made.
In cancer, it seems to me that we have been doing much research, and there have been flashes of hope from time to time, so that we don't know, but perhaps in a year or 5 years or 10 years, we will find a solution to that ravaging disease. However, until that time, we cannot use as a cure to those patients suffering from it the hope that in 10 years there will be a cure. We have to give them the aspirin or the medication right now to alleviate their situation. And in a way, I think this is the approach of the CRC to the problems which confront us. We want to cure any problem that comes up as immediately as we can. On the other hand, we have set up committees that will specialize in fields where discrimination shows up and try to alleviate the situation through organizing a program of prevention.
Do we actually need a parking lot there to begin with? I understand that the Dallas Cowboys have now purchased another stadium. so that there will be only about 9 or so days out of the year that we actually need any kind of parking approaching the volume of parking that they're planning. This raises another question. It's insane to wipe out these people just to have a parking lot that you're not going to use. And the other question is this the best use of the land to begin with? Finally, given transportation in the area, rail and road transportation, relationship to downtown Dallas, and sort of general positioning, it would seem on the city's own maps that zoning would indicate some other use than a parking area there. One would think immediately of some commercial use. What I would do is I'd put a moratorium period on the demolition of any additional low-income housing units anywhere in the city, including Fair Park, until such time as the city is able to match 1-for-1, both in terms of space and amenities and price, the housing units that they would destroy for a public purpose.
I guess.